Well, good afternoon, everyone. Well, first of all, thank you very much all for coming and attending today, the State of the City. And we'll be hearing later from City Manager John Baumgartner and, of course, the Honorable Mayor Pat Hallisey up here. And we've got a few more people going through line there, but we're going to go ahead and get the program started. So it's my honor at this time to introduce you, the Chair of the Board for 2018, Rebecca Lilly with Memorial Hermann.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you. Appreciate that warm welcome, and it's just wonderful to see everybody in green today. And a couple of people came up to me and asked, why is everybody wearing green? Well, it's our mayor's favorite color, so that's why we're wearing green today. Thank you. All right, so at this time, it's my pleasure to introduce you to Kara Bear, who will be doing our invocation and our pledges. So would you please stand?
Thank you. And it is an honor at this time to help bring forth this moment in a very special way. So I invite you to find the place where you connect with the God of your understanding, the way that you feel and know that presence. And let's just turn within and say, thank you, God, together. Thank you, God. Thank you, God, for the state of this incredible community, this League City, and we offer this blessing and say thank you, God, for blessing our mayor and his family and all that has transpired and all that has happened in this city throughout this year and all those that have stepped up with courage and strength and conviction. And all that is transpiring as we bless each one that is serving this great community. In the many ways that we bring forth economic growth and development, the ways that we have those that are teaching and educating our children and doing it with excellence. And we say thank you, God, for each and every one that is participating in bringing incredible services to our community. Our police force and our firefighters and those that serve through the medical and all the ways that emergency systems happen. In every aspect of this community, we know there is God's presence, and we give ourselves over to feel that divine guidance and the divine hand upon us, and to know that it leads each leader here that is bringing forth even greater good in their businesses and in their homes, with their families and their loved ones, that we are a thriving community and a model for the world. And we are grateful, God, for your presence and your leadership and the leaders that follow. And we say thank you. Thank you, God. And so it is. Amen. And yes. And I invite you to join us for our pledges of allegiance. And first of all, to our national over here, right behind me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, with liberty, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And then for our state, honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God and indivisible.
Thank you, Kara. We appreciate that. You may be seated. So today's presenting sponsor of our luncheon is Memorial Hermann. At this time, I'd like to ask Kyle Price to say a few words. Kyle?
All right. Thank you, Rebecca. Good day. Good to see you, League City. How are we doing? Yeah, doing good. Well, we're glad to be here. If you don't know me, my name's Kyle Price. I'm the Senior Vice President and CEO of our Southeast Pearland and our brand new League City campuses. We're extremely excited to be part of the community. See a lot of familiar faces who came out a few weeks ago to our grand open and ribbon cutting. So thank you, Chamber. Thanks for all the business leaders for being there. We really appreciate your support. You know, I could sit up here all day and talk about awards and accolades and recognition. All my friends in healthcare know that's what we're really good at talking about, right? The things that we want. But today I just want to spend a minute and say thank you for letting us be part of your community. Thank you for being part of our community. We love being in League City. We want to be able to offer great services to you. And I promise from Memorial Hermann to you, the residents of League City in this area, is we will exceed your expectations with care. we like to put an umbrella over the community and really be part of this community and grow with you and thrive with you. So once again, thanks for letting us be here. Thanks for letting us be part of you, and we appreciate all that the city does. So thank you. Rebecca?
Thank you, Kyle. We appreciate that. At this time, I would like to recognize our elected officials and dignitaries that are here. First of all, we have Brenda Weber with Congressman Randy Weber, and please hold your applause till all of them are introduced. All right, thank you. Senator Larry Taylor and his special guest today, Mrs. Arlene Taylor, whose birthday it is. Mrs. Taylor, happy birthday to you. Faye Picard with the Office of State Representative Dr. Greg Bonin. Remember, we're holding our applause. We have the Honorable Mayor Pat Hallisey, who we'll hear from in a few moments. We have Greg Rippon, City Council member. Thank you. Ryan Cahill with the Office of Galveston County Commissioner Ken Clark. And Galveston County Commissioner Ken Clark, Precinct 4, is here with us today. All right, we're holding our applause. Ron Sarvis with Ed Emmett's office. I saw Ron, there he is. All right, Ann Hammond with the Clear Creek Board of Trustees. Thank you for being here. Charlie Pond with the Clear Creek ISD Board of Trustees. And also Laura DuPont, who's here with the Clear Creek Board of Trustees. Thank you all. And Laura's also a board member. Hank Doogie with City Council is here today as well, joining us. I saw him earlier. He's in the food line. All right, please join me in welcoming all of them. Thank you. We have an incredible board of directors. Their names are listed in your program today. If you are a member of the board of directors, would you please stand at this time and be recognized? This is a very dynamic group. At this time, if you're a bronze or gold or silver member, would you please stand? If you're a gold, bronze, or silver member, please stand. Thank you. All right, I'm going to list out our platinum members. If you would please stand and hold your applause till all have been recognized. We have Amico Credit Union. Please stand. Bay Area Regional Medical Center, Care Builders at Home, Clear Lake Regional Medical Center, Hampton Inn and Candlewood Suites League City, Memorial Hermann, RE/MAX Space Center, the Bly Team, the Daily News, and UTMB. Please give them a round of applause. At this time, it's my privilege to introduce Ashley Quiones with Memorial Hermann. Ashley is the chairman of the Legislative Affairs Committee for the Chamber.
Thank you, Rebecca. It's my honor to serve as chair of the Chamber's Legislative Affairs Committee, and we have a great team of committee members. And if you are here today, would you mind standing along with our Chamber staff, because we would like to thank you for all of your time and energy put forth into ensuring that today's event is a successful one. So please join me in thanking our committee members as well as our Chamber staff. I have the distinct honor of introducing our two speakers today, our Mayor, League City Mayor Pat Hallisey, as well as League City City Manager John Bumgardner. As I began to think about the introduction for these two gentlemen, I immediately decided to speak from the heart. We can all go online and read their official bios, but today I'd like to take just a few minutes to provide true insight into these two leaders for which I personally have been able to work with. I'll begin with our City Manager, John Bumgardner. John serves as our city's Chief Administrative Officer. He's responsible for the daily activities and services of League City, as well as implementing the policies set forth by our City Council. I've had the pleasure of working with John as Memorial Hermann has grown in League City. He's a consummate professional and one of the most responsive city leaders that I've ever had the pleasure of working with. When you call John, he answers. When you have a question or concern, he answers. When you have a request or you need clarity, he answers. And truly, I think he has a heart to serve others, and his 29 years in the public sector have proven that. And as for our mayor, Mayor Hallisey, he's the real deal. He and Janice have lived in League City for over 30 years, and their love for our city, our community, and the region are evident. There's no better example of his leadership and commitment to our city than the recent event known as Hurricane Harvey. It's often said that you get a glimpse into someone's true character in times of crisis. Some individuals crack under pressure, others rise to the occasion. Some individuals forget to lead, others lead at the highest level. Harvey was devastating to so many of us in this room, so many of our businesses, so many of our friends, so many of our families, and it was devastating as well to our mayor and Janice as they sustained considerable flooding in their home as well. But even though they had this personal loss, they remained focused on our city and the needs of our community. Mayor Hallacy is also a fighter. I and my colleagues in Memorial Hermann have witnessed firsthand his fighting spirit, his fight to live, and his commitment to walk again. So once again, in a time of crisis, Pat's true character was shown. And all I can say is never underestimate the heart of a champion. As a surprise to you, Mayor, Memorial Hermann, we have produced the following video that highlights your journey, that highlights your fight, and can do it much better than words I could ever put together. So many of us here in this room are here to support you today, here to support John today. We look forward to working with you all as you continue to lead our city, and we look forward to hearing from both of you today. So, Aaron.
6 months ago, I had a tough time. I had 2 heart attacks, and I was in and out in between 2 hospitals. And they had brought in some doctors from Memorial Hermann, Dr. Safi. He looked at my wife and he said, at best, 30% chance of him living. So everybody was trying to decide what to do, and one hospital was saying we're going to take both legs, the other hospital wasn't sure what to do, and Dr. Safi got to my daughter and said, look, you love your dad, you got some options here. If you want to wake up tomorrow morning, and if you want him to be here, then the best thing we can do is to take one of his legs. And my daughter snapped too. She's 31 years old, and she looked at him and she said, he's always said that you have to live first, and once you're living, you can deal with everything after that. So get him into surgery. The doctors all agreed I was just not stable enough to go in an ambulance. They got Life Flight to drop in on us over there and pick me up. They loaded me in the helicopter, and they took me up to Memorial Hermann in the medical center. I didn't wake up until the next morning, and I went to wiggle the toes on my left foot, and I found out I did not have one. Immediately, my daughter came into the room, and she said, are you mad at me? I said, for what? She said, well, I'm the one that had to make the decision about your leg. I said, let me tell you, you're absolutely right. If it was my life or that leg, you made the right decision. I love you even more for making that. I love Ashley Quiones and Rebecca Lilly because I tell people all the time, they saved my life. Dr. Safi, who I just couldn't believe it. The care, I kind of feel like they're all personal friends, and when somebody talks to me about family, that's Memorial Hermann. I hardly can tell this story without going to tears because it is so personal to me. All the people in League City that I have a chance to influence, and I hope you see this, your next healthcare provider should be Memorial Hermann. They gave me life. Nothing else could be better than that.
Can hardly see that and not come to tears. I guess that when I look back on my time after Harvey and all the time I spent in that hospital, and I'm still there, I'm learning to walk on a prosthetic. All I can tell you is God is good. God is good. And it's a scary situation. I don't have missing a leg to slip this on, so hang in there with me. Having my 2 daughters there was the moment of my life, and they both made that decision together, and I couldn't love them anymore. Sorry that one of them couldn't be here today, Janice. Where'd she go? Where's Janice? Oh, Janice is here. You represent them all. Anyway, I have a lot to say. Let me catch up just a couple things on the elected officials that I see here. And this isn't going to work. Somebody's going to have to come hold. Thank you. Yeah, I got to lock it. Okay. No. Just have to get back to the front. Okay. Before I start, see, I can talk loud enough where you can almost hear me. There's some people I want to mention that are here. I have a great appreciation for anybody that runs for public office. It's a really tough time to put your name out there and want to serve the greater good, because the way we elect people is how we can beat them down. And I never supported that way of doing things, but and I think this last go round in the primaries was probably the nicest set of primaries I've seen. I didn't catch all the in-between stuff, but anyway, I noticed the north end did really good. I hope all of you saw that, because as the north end of this county increases its sphere of influence, that increases the sphere of influence for all of us. Carrie Foley is well on her way to being the county court judge, county court number 2. She won her seat and probably will win again in November, and we're very proud of her. You mentioned Ken Clark, but Michelle Hatmaker is in a runoff, and we've known Michelle a long time, so she'll have her hands full, right, Commissioner? But she's there, and that's good. I want to mention Ron Service is here. Ron Service represents County Judge Emmett in Harris County. Stand up. This guy goes to everything. Harris County, Galveston County, and we have probably 12 to 15,000 voters that live in League City that live in Harris County. So we're always glad to have you here, Ron, and tell the judge we watch him on TV. Billy Enoch is here, who is a city council member in Friendswood. We're proud of him. He stuck his neck out this year, and he learned the very hard lessons of campaigning. But congratulations for your effort. You did a great job. I'm sure I probably missed somebody, and if you did, stand up and I'll probably be able to get it. But okay, let me go back to where I'm starting. I have to tell you, when I look out over my glasses and I see the number of people in this room, I can't remember the last time I saw this many people in this room, and I am just encouraged beyond belief that you would come. I am proud of this Chamber of Commerce. Not only is it growing by leaps and bounds, and everybody recognizes that, and everybody recognizes Rebecca and Ashley, but Steve has done a really good job. They're up around 600 members now and growing every single day. Not only are they a great Chamber of Commerce for each one of you, but they're a great Chamber of Commerce for us. Most of you in the Chamber know that for the last 6, 7, 8 months, of which most of it I was in the hospital, the Chamber has been working on long-range planning with the City of League City staff and its elected leadership. And I think that we're going to be hearing at the council pretty quickly about our issues of drainage and mobility from the Chamber's point of view. And, of course, the Chamber represents our business community, so it's the first time in my recollection, in my 45 years in this town, that I've seen a Chamber of Commerce reach out and partner with a city like they're partnering with League City today. So Steve, the board, and all of you, I just am incredibly proud of what you've done. Thank you. One more thing from the past. Arlene Taylor, Senator Taylor's mother, is a resident of League City, of which we're very proud of. And today is her birthday, and I joked with her earlier, what are you, 29 years old? She's beautiful as can be. That smile lights up a room unbelievably. So if you will join me in a short happy birthday to Arlene. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, sweet Arlene. Happy birthday to you. Thank you. And while you're here, let me do another recap on the legislators in the room. Senator Taylor in the Senate carried a bunch of bills that were Representative Greg Bonin initiated in the House. Let me tell you something. When the session was coming to a close, we were all sitting around having a cup of coffee going, you know, that's a big undertaking. Maybe we asked them to do too much for us. They'll never get those bills passed. Well, I'm telling you, they got them passed. We're already working on getting a convention center next to a hotel, next to an entertainment section in town. And without these guys and the job that they did, we just never would have those opportunities. And before too long, not only will we be the medical center of Galveston County, but we will also be the entertainment center of Galveston County. And as you know, 48% of our land area is still available for development. And if you talk to anybody, League City is open for business. So anyway, thank you. We're proud of them, and of course we're always proud of Randy Weber, our congressman. Whenever you get into a group and you start talking about Randy and somebody says, well, I'm not happy with him, say, well, have you met Brenda? Because if they're not happy with Larry, they are happy with Brenda because she's a sweetheart, and she's a lot like Janice. She is just a go-getter for her guy and brings anything to him, and we're glad that you're here today. All right, on the end of all that introductions, I only have one left, and it's a special one to me. I tell the story that when I was up in Memorial Herman, and, you know, I wiggled my toes. I saw I had a right leg, didn't have a left one. And they kept me in bed for, seemed like a month. As you go to bed at night, you start to have these nightmares about what's happened to you. And you wake up and you're absolutely petrified. And every time I open my eyes, and this is the gospel truth, sitting across the room or laying down on two chairs or was in a bed if one happened to be empty was Janice. Best partner that I have ever had in anything I ever did in life. And she, yes, please. Thank you. Whatever happens to me happens to Janice, and I just couldn't be prouder of you, and thank everybody for helping me acknowledge her, because I can assure you, without her, I wouldn't be talking about running again in just a couple months. Anyway, okay. All right, I want to thank everyone here today for taking the time out of your busy day and spending it with us. There is no truth to the rumor that the most dangerous place in League City or Galveston County is between me and this microphone. I am Irish. I do like to tell a story or two, and when they said, you've got 5 minutes, I said, it'll take me that long to get warmed up. Anyway, people continuously choose to make League City their home because of quality of life, affordable housing, and recreational, medical, and educational opportunities. But it's not just about that. At the end of the day, people choose a community they most identify with, and no matter how much our city grows, we're still a close-knit community, and after Hurricane Harvey, we have testimonies to back it up. Now, before they start that video, let me tell you something. Before I went to the hospital, I had a lot of time to roam around this city and see the devastation that took place. I got on Facebook Live and I told people every day, I see neighbors helping neighbors. You cannot find anything wrong with that. I see civic clubs out mushing houses. I see our church and community out helping people help people. And no matter how you slice the pie, the heart of this community is all of you and the way that you reacted during the devastation that hit us. 60 inches of rain was a lot, but let me tell you, when I went to Bay Ridge and I heard about how bad it was out there, what I saw more than anything else was people helping people. And let me tell you something, if there is something in League City that really sets it apart from the rest of the world, is that when we're down and out, we're going to get back on our feet, but we're going to do it the old-fashioned way of helping one another stand up and get it done. So anyway, what makes a community great and what draws people together is our past, present, and our future of our community. The fabric of our community is its people and a population estimate approaching 105,000. What better time to start focusing on connecting the dots? Nora, you going to show us about connecting the dots? She is.
Lake City 911 was that or an emergency? Yeah, we've got flooding, so we're stuck in our car in our driveway. Yeah, we just moved here, and we don't know what to do. We're trying to get our Jeep out of the driveway. The water is all the way up to the driver's side window. Oh God, my husband's holding out into the lake. League City 911, what is that? Rescue emergency? My son is missing. He went out in the water and they can't find him. Okay, listen to me. Let me get you over to the... Okay, stay on the line. Alright, so I'm going to put a call in. I'm going to get the fire department headed that way as soon as they can to rescue you guys, okay?
So we decided we needed to set up a distribution center when we received calls from all over the United States stating they had semi-loads of goods coming to League City for our hurricane relief. We contacted Kroger's to see if we could utilize their center, and they were wonderful and said we'd love to help out and opened it up to us to have a wonderful distribution center for everybody in need in our community.
The response has been overwhelming with both the donations and the people we've had through the door. We have helped literally thousands.
With League City Pets Alive, Galveston Island Humane Society, and Bayou Animal Services are all working together with the Hurricane Harvey animals, and we have set up a temporary Hurricane Harvey recovery center for animals. So if you're looking for your stray animal or if you need a place to keep your animal while you're taking care of your house, you can come here and we can take care of it for you. Bayou Animal Services, with Dickinson being in their area, their jurisdiction, they got completely bombarded with a lot of animals. They're the community that got hit the worst with Hurricane Harvey. They had a lot more flooding in some areas, so we decided to kind of jump in and help them out because they had so many animals.
The contractor's been working 7 days a week, 7 in the morning to 7 at night, even preloading at night so they can make a first run to the landfill. Since about 2 days after the event, we've used our own city resources. We've used some of our dump trucks as well as one of our grapple trucks and a rubber-tired loader to augment Crowder Gulf. So all told, we have at least 2 separate sources of resources working and a third potentially on the way. And it is going to take some more time, there's no question.
We had a luncheon sponsored by Aquametrics as appreciation for everything that happened during the hurricane, and it's just showing employees a bit of thanks As you know, employees are what makes the city work, and just tremendous amount of effort, continuing effort by the employees. I can't say thanks more for what they did, what they continue to do to help put League City back together again and help restore some normalcy to us. The real work begins with mitigation efforts, continuing to work with our federal government, our state government, and looking at for some mitigation projects to help ensure that this doesn't happen again.
There's a silver lining in this from the devastation that we've seen. We've seen neighbors coming together, and it makes all of us League City proud.
I think about Mr. Doogie running a shelter out at the Bay Harbor Methodist Church. I think about Mr. Grapon, who his whole family just ran a shelter out at Hometown Heroes Park and took care of people. Carl Wankowitz, who's a citizen here, who worked tirelessly at our distribution center of food. One of the things that you come to understand during this is that people have huge hearts. Goods, food, toilet paper, diapers, you name it, came from all over this country. It's just amazing how many people knew what was going on. Couldn't have been prouder of everybody that worked for the city or had some association with the city, and nobody was put out, nobody was left out in the water. I'm always proud of our police department. I was in the emergency center till 10:30 on Saturday night, and I was listening to all the radios and the police rescues out there. The fire department was out there picking people out. Our HR director was there, and the EOC, and Mr. Doan, and Ryan Smith, and Bo, and police chief at that time was Mike Cram, and he was there, and everybody was issuing orders. But Ryan Edgehill, is Ryan here today? Young fella who is our emergency management coordinator, did an exceptionally good job being in a room with all those A personalities. People got saved. Our fire department, who I always like to brag on, they got a #1 rating on their, what's that called, Tommy? Where you at? ISO, which if you live here, you're going to end up probably getting a 10% in your fire insurance rates this year. It was because we have an exceptionally good volunteer fire department. But to all the employees, and I know John's going to get into that, I don't want to take part of his speech, but all you guys who participated and helped people in this community are to be commended. I'm very proud of each and every one of you for what you did. Okay, we're continuing on. This doesn't end just because we had Hurricane Harvey. We've got another town meeting. We've had one since the storm. We're having another town meeting on March 20th at 6 p.m. And we will, that'll be at Creekside Intermediate on the west side of town. We're going to hear from people who had problems. On the 22nd of March in this room, we're having what's the name of it, John? Bay Ridge in here, because they flooded horribly, absolutely horribly. Then we'll have the people from Clear Creek Village and some of the other places. 60 inches of rain was a lot of rain to get out of this town. However, we're going to do a better job of that. I don't know if we can eliminate a 60-inch flood, but John and his staff and engineering companies that are working with us are out to get that done. A lot of new events and activities this year, all of them that we kept up with. Did anybody like the fireworks at 4th of July? Well, when John came in to get his salary raised because of fireworks, we all looked at him and said, it's about time somebody thought about fireworks. It's not a novel new idea, but that grew out of a lot of people. But John made the ultimate decision to put the money out there. On July 3rd, that's right. And he got it going. But I want you to remember, the quality of this community is vested in its people. When I think about the Lions Club and the music festival that takes place and the vast amount of people that come to town and the nationally recognized singers that come to town, it was outstanding this year, and there were two 25-year-olds that ran that for the club, which was even better. Our National Night Out was nationally recognized again, 6 years in a row. Our Memorial Day at the cemetery and Veterans Day were held out at Hometown Heroes Park. We even had a Citizen Appreciation Day where I personally handed out 6,000 hot dogs in a 30-minute period of time. We actually handed out, the council did, about 10,000 hot dogs, right, Greg? There were a lot of them. The July 3rd Light Up the Sky Fireworks Extravaganza, the Harvest Festival, League City Fire Department Haunted House that we did, our holiday open house and tree lighting ceremony, and of course the one that's closest to my heart, and I know all of yours, is League City Proud's Holiday in the Park and Parade that Janice and her band of little elves put together. Many of the events and activities and programs the city employees would not be possible without our city employees. They're just so intertwined into the civic fabric of this community, and that makes me particularly proud. This past year, between the police department, volunteers in policing program, and the animal shelter, we had more than 18,000 volunteer hours. That's pretty sizable when you stop and think about it. There's only 8 hours in a day, and we had that many. Pretty remarkable. Our public safety team is another great example of what this community has to offer. Past year, the League City Police Department, League City Volunteer Fire Department, and Emergency Medical Services responded to more than 47,000 calls. When I moved here, there were 6,000 people in this town. It's amazing to me. Again, we attained the ISO rating of 1, best rating achievable. We encourage our citizens to become engaged and participate in our path for the future. We have many openings on our boards and commissions. Let me wrap it up. What is the state of the city? The state of the city is outstanding. There is nothing but great times in front of us, a lot more great people, a lot more great opportunities for business. When I was looking at the number of new businesses in town last year and this year, certainly over 300. That's a great job, and I know Steve hears that clearly because those are all new members, probably who's filling up the extra tables this year. Thank you. Our business community is growing. Every part of our community is growing, and we're still maintaining the small town charm that we all love League City for. And the oak trees are still important to us, and I love the fact that Greg stood up for Mr. Elementary, because even though that tree was in the way of progress, and that's going to happen from time to time, he called attention to the importance of oak trees within this community. And a lot of us remember when we were known as League City, the city of shady oaks and friendly folks. And that's part of our heritage, and Greg, thanks for that. I know the school district is going to help us plant 24 more trees. I'm kidding. We're going to plant a bunch more trees to make up for Mr. Elementary, so that your grandchildren will be sitting here on the state of the city 75 years or 100 years from now, and they're going to say, boy, those people were smart back in 2018. Look what they did. They continued the tree program. So proud of that and proud of Heather. Okay, 776 new single-family residences, 30 new commercial buildings, 165 new businesses came to town. They came because you live here, and they want to do business with you. And so we always try to say, even though it's not Christmas, shop local. It strengthens our economy. That money gets reinvested back into this community and makes it stronger. We still have some challenges in front of us, and I know that John's going to talk about these, but We have infrastructure challenges. We're rising to those challenges. We have more engineering companies that are associated with us probably than the city of Houston, because that's how we learn about how to solve the problems that we have. TxDOT is working hard. They finally got 5 corners up, and it is running. Those applauding, I know, are on the east side. West Siders probably did not go through 5 corners, but it was, we will soon forget about the nightmares of 5 corners, and thank you, John and the staff, for getting that done. The freeway is going to be a nightmare for a while, but let me tell you, it's progress. We're going to have 8 lanes. We're going to look a lot like it looks north of Baybrook Mall. So if we're going to Houston, we'll have lanes to be able to accommodate people. And I have to say, Janice is telling me wrap it up. I'm going to wrap it up. It may seem slow, but I'm telling you, that's the fastest I have ever seen TxDOT move from the Beltway down to NASA Road 1. And they're doing the same thing all the way to 517, and they'll take that all the way to Galveston, and they're great partners in getting this done. Okay, John, I'm going to leave you to talk about water and Highway 45 and the headaches. One of y'all want John, I can see that. I'm just a leg short of getting all this out. But nonetheless, let me say this. One of the best decisions that this city council, in my opinion, has made since I've been here, and probably I've known all the mayors since the city was created. I knew all the city administrators, city managers, etc., and we've had some good ones. But there is not one that has risen to the level of John Baumgartner. I brag about him everywhere I go. He was out in the middle of the floods saving people. He is quick to tell you what his plans are for water to get us to build out, which we're probably going to be close to 250,000 people. How he's going to fix, and his staff are going to fix the mobility issues and what they're doing today and what that's going to lead to tomorrow. John's a first-class human being. I'm glad we have him in League City. And even though he still wears a Dallas Cowboy T-shirt around the office on casual days, and he hasn't really got behind the Texans or gotten behind the Astros, you know, the World Series, how much better do you get than the World Series, Sean? So we're counting on you to get an Astros T-shirt, and I know you're proud of them, but you need to show your pride. John, ladies and gentlemen, it's my distinct pleasure to introduce to you our city manager, John Baumgartner.
Thank you, Mayor, for that kind introduction. You're an inspiration to all of us. I do have a Houston Astros jersey now, so I am transforming from that whole Dallas thing. You know, I've been here 6 years now, so it's getting a little bit easier for me. But I appreciate all the kind words the mayor had. Obviously, I can't do anything like that without a great staff. They do all the heavy lifting. Let me reiterate our thanks to the League City Regional Chamber of Commerce for hosting a great event and being a great community partner. And before I get started, Nora, did we lose Nora? Nora has put together a new year in review video. She's celebrating her first anniversary with us, so those of you who were here last year saw her video, and she has built on her successes, and so she hates it when I say anything about her. So the other piece to this, and I'll introduce her later, is her new boss, Sarah Greer Osborne, who starts with us April 2nd. She's watching all of this, so Nora's getting even more nervous now. But go ahead and get the video started, Nora. Thank you.
decimal signals. We will be adding pavement to make the bypass. We will be adding sidewalk. We will be removing some pavement in some areas.
TxDOT has been a really good partner through this. They've been really great to work with and has helped us every step of the way.
bringing new businesses to the city. But a huge part of economic development is making sure that our local businesses, our mom and pops, or the businesses that have been here for decades, we want them to be successful. We want them to thrive. We want them to expand. And so economic development is not just about the new businesses that come in. It very much is about the businesses that are here and giving them care, love, attention, and support, because they're just as important.
My name is Lisa Piper, and I'm the owner and manager of the Natural Living Organic Food Co-op. I live close to the historic district and just the heart of League City myself, and really I love the people, the old trees, the vibe that it gives, how old this city is, how much it has to offer. So foundationally, I felt like this was the perfect place to offer this.
League City's growing so much. I like to be a part of all of that. My whole family's been here my whole life, and so I love the area.
League City is a beautiful place to live, and we have all the amenities we could want, except we didn't have a dog park. It was a struggle at first, getting everybody to get on board, get the city council to understand what we were doing, but once they caught the vision, they understood how we were going to partner with the city to make this a success, then things started flying from there.
Stanford Twains goes off of the STEAM concepts that all the schools are doing. It's science, technology, engineering, art, and math, trying to do science in different ways that they don't quite realize that they're doing science, so they're having fun too.
I hope that all the citizens in League City and in Galveston County will take a minute next time they come across a police officer and thank them for the great job that they do.
I feel very safe here in League City. I see the police here all the time, and I think they're doing a great job.
It's a great department. We're really proud of our ISO 1 rating, and we're really proud that as a volunteer department we're able to take care of the city, especially at the size it's growing to.
When I saw the class posted, I thought this is a great opportunity to kind of learn just what goes on behind closed doors, more or less, and down the corridors of City Hall. So it was very informative, very eye-opening, very educational, very interesting.
But we don't really spend enough time learning how the governments that most likely are going to affect us the most, like our local governments, affect us. So I was really interested on how our city council and our council members actually impact our lives on a daily basis.
They gain knowledge, but more important than that, what they gain is they feel valued when they leave here. They feel valued for their role in society, and they don't get that anywhere else.
Wasn't that an excellent video? Thank you, Nora. You can see, in spite of the devastation from Hurricane Harvey, last year we worked on many initiatives and provided projects and events and activities for the citizens of Lake City. We're grateful for the opportunity to do that. We have a passion for public service, and I really enjoy what we do. League City is a fast-growing community of nearly 105,000 people. It's changed a great deal since I got here in 2012. We're excited. Yeah, look at the Astros. 100 losses. Now look, world champions. We're excited. We're excited about the progress made this year, and even more excited for what's to come. However, the success we achieve would not be possible without our employees, who work hard day in and day out to serve this community. I'd like to take just a real quick moment to introduce our executive team. If you could hold your applause till we're done introducing people. They're on your left, my right. We'll go through the list pretty quickly. Please stand as I call out your name. Bo Bass, Assistant City Manager. Mike Cram, Assistant City Manager. Nim Doan, City Attorney. Diana Stapp, City Secretary. Gary Ratliff, Interim Chief of Police. Scott Livingston, Director of Economic Development. Gary Warren, Fire Chief. Janet Shirley, Director of Human Resources and Civil Service. Ryan Smith, Director of Information Technology. Chin Wei, our Director of Parks and Cultural Services. David Hoover, Director of Planning and Development. Jody Hooks, Director of Public Works. Chris Sims is not present. He's our Director of Engineering. He had a complication today. And then the newest member of our staff, Sarah Greer Osborne, will join our team April 2nd as our Director of Communications. Angie Steelman, Director of Budget and Capital Projects. In addition to our executive team, we have Tommy Cones, League City Fire Marshal. Brian Roller, Convention and Visitors Bureau Administrator. Michelle Villarreal, Deputy City Attorney. And then I'd also special thanks again to Nora, wherever Nora went. She's hiding behind the stage or something. Our Communications Coordinator. Let's give a big round of applause for our staff that's here today. Looks like I missed one. Alina Portis, our Director of Finance. I've got to double check my lists. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming. Through everything we do, one of our most important commitments we make to you is that we'll continue to execute community goals, initiatives, and projects in a physically responsible and transparent manner. As you saw in the video, we have a number of core issues. We have drainage, mobility, water, economic development, financial responsibility and transparency, communications. We strive to provide world-class customer service, and then taking care of our employees, our most valuable asset. Briefly, I'd like to talk about a few of the things coming up as we look forward to build a foundation for today, tomorrow, and the future. You know, one of the most important things that's coming out of the Harvey episode is we'll have an increased emphasis on drainage. What does that mean? We're going to look at a couple of things. One is to have an increased, to enhance our development code, to enhance the sustainability of the developments we build. You know, when we build out to 210,000 or 250,000 people, as the mayor likes to tell me, we don't want 8,000 homes to flood if we have an event like that. So we're going to take a look at what our codes say today and, you know, harden our infrastructure certainly as we go forward. That doesn't help all the homes that are on the ground today. So the second piece of that initiative is to look at all our drainage issues, all of the neighborhoods that flooded, and work on developing mitigation projects. They'll cost a large amount of money. We'll try to put ourselves in a position to leverage our local dollars with state and federal dollars and be prepared for that. We've got 6 individual drainage studies going as we speak right now. Then we know the issues with Clear Creek and all the neighborhoods along Clear Creek and some of the things that can be done there. And then the other one is Dickinson Bayou. That's obviously not just a League City issue. It's a Dickinson issue. It's a Galveston County issue. It needs a comprehensive study to look at what sort of mitigation efforts can take place. And so we're moving all of those forward as we speak right now. Most of that effort is involved with the engineering department and then working with our other community partners. And then this is one for those of you who live on the west side. Won't solve all the problems, but we're going to complete Calder Road this year. Yay for those that have struggled with it. It's been a long time coming, but we're going to get that complete. Fire Station 6 construction, you saw that in the video. We're working on a new animal shelter. We'll implement some corridor improvements along League City Parkway. A lot of the questions we get on League City Parkway, particularly, we need right turn lanes as it approaches I-45. We need right turn lanes intersection enhancements at Walker Street, at State Highway 3. We've partnered with Galveston County. We're getting ready to get those projects started. As you know, we have 700 new homes a year, year in, year out, sometimes 800 or 900. That brings 2,000 to 3,000 new residents every year. We'll see continued construction on IH-45. The big thing coming there, it's going to get worse before it gets better. I'm sorry about that. But they're going to remove the FM 646 interchange completely and rebuild a new interchange out there, much like is at Bay Area Boulevard today. That's probably coming in the next few months, probably early fall. Then lastly, another service opportunity for our staff. We have a new solid waste provider. They start May 1st. So we have some end of contract issues or opportunities with our current vendor. We'll have some transition issues. ask you to be patient. If services isn't being provided as you think it should, please call me. Please call our staff. I cannot stress the importance of encouraging the committee to get involved and make your voice heard. If there's a service issue, please contact me or our staff. League City's horizons are full of opportunities, and with your help, 2018 will be our best year yet. Thank you again for taking time out of your busy schedule to show support for our hometown.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, John. We really appreciate your updates. And please join me once again in a round of applause for them and for their time to be here this morning. We do that. We have a small token of our appreciation for each of you. So, here for you, John, and then... At this time, I'll turn it over to Steve.
Okay, we'll go ahead and take a couple pictures here first, real quick. Here we go. She's coming up here. Okay. Again, I'd like to thank Ashley Kionas, Chairperson for Legislative Affairs, and emceeing for us today. She did a great job, didn't she? Okay, it's my pleasure right now to bring up Tricia Burita, who is the Chairperson with the Ambassadors, which is our Welcome Wagon group, and they do a fantastic job for us, and she's going to do a little bit of a speech about that right now. Tricia, here you go.
Thank you so much, Steve. Hello, everybody. Yes, it's my pleasure to be the chair with Tony Cott with Rainbow International Restoration Group with the face of the chamber, the ambassadors. And our ambassadors are not just a ribbon-cutting group. We're a community of business individuals. They are a diverse, energetic group of individuals, and they make this chamber grow, and all the growth that we've been having, in addition to the chamber staff and everything Steve and the board are doing, is because of these ambassadors and their volunteers and the time they volunteer. So I'd like to take a moment, if you're an ambassador in the room, if you could stand up so we could just thank you for what you do. Our ambassador group has been doing a lot of crazy and interesting fun things. We're doing socials now, as well as having a private Facebook group page where people get to share about their businesses. So we'd love for anyone that's interested to come and join us. One of our main goals, of course, is to welcome our new members. And so if anyone here has joined and become a member this year, we'd like to ask you to stand so that the community here can welcome you. Any new members? Thank you. And lastly, I know any of you that were at the last lunch know that Aaron kind of created a rivalry, friendly rivalry, albeit, with the Navigators Young Professional Group after I said my ambassadors were the cool kids of the chamber. She claimed, no, the Navigators Young Professionals think they're the cool kids of the chamber. So to that rivalry, I'd just like to say that, yes, some of my ambassadors are a little older than the young professionals Navigators. Quite a bit older, but very young at heart and a lot of fun, so let the rivalry continue because we are still the cool kids of the chamber. So,
thank you, Trish, and all the ambassadors, the great work you guys do for us every day. Okay, what we're going to do right now is I'm going to have that spotlight tables get ready for their drawings. I'm going to bring you up here in a minute. But I'd be remiss in not recognizing these wonderful centerpieces on your table who are provided by Hot Flowers and Finds and Miss Teresa Wenzel. Teresa, where are you? Please stand up. We'd also like to thank Ludwig Catering again for the wonderful meal that they provided today in their service. And of course, we can't make things like this happen without sponsorships and the support we get from our members. And Kyle and your team, we'd like to thank you for sponsoring today's luncheon. Maura Harmon. Okay, the first one we got coming up, I got to go down the list real quick here, is last month we started a new thing with the nonprofit committee where we have a nonprofit of the month. And the last nonprofit of the month last month was the Rotary Club of League City, and they asked people to participate in the survey, and people who did put in their business cards and everything else, and they are actually going to, we had a drawing for those people who put business cards in, and I've got a couple of tickets here for the winner of that person who submitted in the survey with League City for their Brews and More event, March 21st at South Shore Harbor Resort. Tickets are still for sale if you'd like to get some. But our winner is, and if she's still here, Michelle Hatmaker. Okay, let's go to the spotlight tables now. Okay, the first spotlight table I'd like to bring up is Elite Care 24 ER. We offer all of the services found at traditional hospitals, ERs, but without the wait time. Our wait time is less than 10 minutes or less. We work with Cigna, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Aetna, Humana, and more. Thank you, Elite Care. Okay, oh, there you go. Okay, Glory. Okay, you have the mayor draw somebody there? Okay, don't have your glasses on. There you go. Thanks, John. Okay, the winner is Bill Provenzano, Hometown Bank. Yep. Okay. Okay, and the next spotlight table we have in the back is Lighthouse Christian Ministries. Lighthouse Christian Ministries has been serving our neighbors in needs in Galveston County since 1997. We serve the community through 5 ministry areas, including a resale shop, short-term assistance with food and financial help, educational programs, seasonal programs, and health and dental clinics. We'd love you to join us at our annual celebration gala, Saturday, April 21st at the Lone Star Flight Museum. And Ms. Erica Steele and her team do a wonderful job, and her ministry has been very, very instrumental in the Hurricane Harvey recovery and doing a lot of things. So thank you, Erica. Donna Bentley. Okay. Okay. Okay, next we have MD Anderson Cancer Center in the Bay Area. The door prize is an insulated tote, first aid kit, windshield shade, T-shirt, and so for more than 75 years, MD Anderson has provided unparalleled level of cancer care, and with multiple locations around Houston, our experience and services extending to your neighborhood. Our patients have convenient, comfortable access to world-class cancer care in their community close to where they live and work. MD Anderson provides medical oncology, radiation oncology, surgical oncology services, along with a range of support programs in all the greater Houston area. And I believe you are opening June or July, where the new center will be opening up. So Kendra, who we got there? Doreen Hughes. Okay, next we have Devereaux Advanced Behavioral Health. Devereaux Advanced Behavioral Health at League City is a residential treatment center offering secured long-term services for youth ages 11 through 22 with a wide spectrum of emotional, behavioral, developmental, and psychiatric and chemical dependency disorders. Devereaux is a national organization helping to change lives for people living with autism, intellectual, and developmental disabilities, especially mental health needs and child welfare concerns, while supporting social and emotional health of all people. And I would like to recognize 2 people on my staff who were celebrity bartenders last night who actually raised $1,400 for Devereaux. Aaron and Jane. Okay, and what do we have? Peter Winchell from Communities and Schools. Okay. Finally, we have actually our nonprofit of the month, which is Perry Family YMCA. The Perry YMCA is a community. We offer programs for the entire community and youth sports, group classes, etc. We also offer financial assistance to families in need. We are currently in our annual campaign to support our community and that is in need. We are located at 1700 West League City Parkway, League City, Texas. And what have we got here? Here we go. Oh, congratulations. Okay. Okay, we'll have Memorial Herman come up. So, Rebecca, would you like to say something about Memorial Herman?
Absolutely. If you haven't heard enough about Memorial Herman today, I'm going to give you a little more. So we just opened our Convenient Care Center in League City 3 weeks ago. Under our roof of the Convenient Care Center, we have sports medicine, physical therapy, mammography, MRI, emergency center, primary care. Dr. Ripson has just left, specialty care, and also an occupational health clinic there under one roof. And Garrett, who won? Kim Barker. All right.
Thank you, Rebecca. And again, thank you, Memorial Herman. Okay, last thing, and we'll get you right out of here, okay? If you check our chamber calendar, you'll notice that we've got a lot of things going on a regular basis. And some of the things that we're going to highlight right now is next month's membership luncheon is going to be a new concept. It's actually one of our popular ones. It's the State of Education. And we had a problem with that one, kind of like this one, where it kind of overruns a little bit, but a lot more. And what we did was we divided this year. The Education Committee, under Laura DuPont's leadership, has decided that we're going to have an education luncheon, State of the Luncheon, which will be for K through 12, and then we're going to have a membership State of the Education breakfast for colleges and universities, so we can really focus in on that. So that'll be next month. Next week, next couple of weeks, we also have a legislative coffee coming up. Stay tuned for that one. At the end of the month, every month, we have the now getting to be famous and standing room only Coffee with the President that's hosted by UTMB. We have an economic development luncheon coming up later this month, and our presenter will be Jeffrey Gianetti, who is the general manager for Baybrook Mall, and he's going to talk to us about the expansion and everything that's happened there. And then in May, we have the Athena Awards luncheon, and we are benefit of being a franchisee in Athena International to recognize women in business and their leadership. So we'll be recognizing for our 6th year a woman who in the community has been philanthropic, a business leader, a mentor, and honoring them at that luncheon this year in May. Then we have the Hurricane Preparedness Breakfast coming up, sponsored by Texas New Mexico Power. I've got a feeling that one may be really well attended this year on that one to find out what's going on there. So one reminder I have on here, which we always get on, I hate this time here because it throws my body clock out of whack, but this Sunday, don't forget to spring forward. And to reiterate what Mayor Hallisey said, I'd like to say shop local, support the county, support the city, making things happen. Again, thank you for your support. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for all our speakers. And again, thank you, Memorial Herman, for sponsoring today. Have a great day. Yes? The flowers? Take the flowers. So go ahead and grab them. Okay, there we go.